So tell me a bit about yourself.
My name is Bo Davis. I'm with Carolina Historical Fencing Association, based here in Columbia, South Carolina, and we have, our Scala St. George group in Charleston as well. I've been doing HEMA like my whole life, I feel like. I've been playing with swords since I was very young. I didn't get into, full contact sparring and all that until I was a little younger, or a little older, rather. I was 16, but I've been training since I was about 8 in a lot of other disciplines, and I started sword around 10 or so, and I'm 20 now. So been doing this a little while, and this has kind of been like my whole life. So there's not a whole lot about me other than I really like swords. Swords are the shit.
Awesome. So would you say that this is both a sport and a hobby? Or one or the other more?
Honestly, this is a passion. So it's a hobby as much as it is a sport, right? I love the sport aspect of it. I love going and competing. I'm competitive, but this is what I eat, sleep, and breathe. Go to sleep thinking about swords, wake up thinking about swords. Doesn't end, honestly.
Nice. So what do you get out of it? What keeps you coming back to practice?
Swords. Honestly, swords. It comes down to swords. Swords are cool. I like teaching. That's been the newest development for me within the past year, is actually teaching. And my mentor, I learned a lot through him, and we're in his space now. But one of the biggest takeaways is, like, you can teach as yourself, or you can just teach, right? And you can be a completely different person when you do that. And he told me that I teach as myself, so I want to stay true to that. And that kind of keeps me coming back, seeing my students get better, and like myself get better alongside that, because I have to be a good student to be a good teacher.
Right. So why is this important or worth keeping alive in modern society when we have more advanced weaponry?
So I always ask all my students this: so what is the purpose of a weapon? And they always goes to kill people. No, it's not to kill people. It's range, right? The same way I can use a long sword to cut somebody up, I can press a little red button these days and, right? So as far as like why it's relevant today, it doesn't have to be relevant today. I don't care if it's relevant today. It's my passion. I want to make it relevant today. I want to educate people on like the brutality of our people, of people as a whole. We've been doing violence for years and years and years and years, and it's my comfort zone, really, and it aligns with history, how we do our practice. So this martial practice for me is a martial practice, but it's academic as well. So you get to learn things not just through body mechanics or just like martial discipline, right? But you learn like the history, like why this was like this, like why a long sword has a shield on it these days. I could go on and on and on and on and on, pretty much. Like, I really don't have a whole lot else other than like it's history. It's what we've been doing. Might as well stay in the loop, right? I just particularly like medieval history.
Nice. So besides your sword and the safety gear you absolutely have to have, to wear, what do you always take with you to practice or to class with you?
There's a couple things. Water, obviously, or a drink, whatever. I've been bringing like a Sprite lately, but whatever floats your boat. I've been drinking green tea on the side too, whatever, just coming relaxing. I always bring, trying to think, like when I get ready, phone, keys. I kind of have everything here now. It used to be at the old location, we would take the bag full of crap, load it up in this storage bay, carry it all the way to the mat, but now I have my whole life of swords here. So, I've got an ocarina sitting over there that will often play, because I can't. But
oh my god, that's cool.
yeah,
You got to play it for the end of
got
this
the
video.
sashes, everything to do gear repairs.
Did you say sashes?
Yeah, I got a couple sashes. So I got or scarves rather. So we had a buddy that helped form our club. His name was Seamus, and so we have one of Seamus's sashes over there, and I've got my blue scarf from whenever I joined the academy to SBA and the SEA. So just a couple things just laying around that I can physically look at and go, well, that has a story behind it. And I'll bring stuff like that to tournaments with me. One thing I actually fought with in Queen's Gambit and Raleigh Open, I kept a worry stone in the back pocket of my fencing trousers. So that was one thing where I made it a point, because our local SEA marshal at the time, she does pottery and kiln work, all that. She had made a bunch. She gave me one, so I kept that with me.
Interesting. Okay, well, what other weapons do you practice with, and what are some of your favorites?
It's mainly just longsword. I like dabbling in everything. Like Connor teaches side sword every now and then, or every week rather. Sorry, he teaches side sword every week. Yeah, and whether or not I participate all the time, it's not always my fancy. But I'm not god awful with each thing. I try to pick up a little bit of everything. We got Kopesh sitting over there, axes. Whenever I first kind of started getting into HEMA, I ran kind of into armored combat first, because I had met Palmetto Knights when I was a youngin', and whenever I got back into everything, I actually met them through Swordfest 2020. I could have got that wrong, but I was doing the Bat Cham Do, which is a Wing Chun butterfly sword form, and I met them again, started coming out to practices, and here I am now. I don't even remember the question at that point. I just started rambling, but yeah, weaponry is sick, dude. I like spears. I like all of it. Even if I'm not particularly good with it, whenever I was growing up, my mentor Dan Bernardo, he had applied sword tactics. That was the name of his curriculum. So it was from Iaido to longsword to bastone over here to Italian stick fighting. We learned a little bit of everything and just how to use a sword, not just one particular kind of sword, but I gravitated towards longsword, and I love wrestling, love ringen, judo, sambo, all that.
Huh, very cool, very diverse. Do you name your weapons?
Yeah, so right over here, it's got several names. We call it, I started calling it Audacity because I have the virtue of audacity engraved on it right here. Let me get it. It's a little beat up now, but I have it engraved there. Turns out it is more flexy than it's stiffer than it's supposed to be, rather. So eventually it got renamed to Excessive Force, but that wasn't me that named it. That was everybody else. I wasn't really in the habit of naming them until I got this sword right here with the purple wrap and all that, and I was like, Audacity, having the courage to go out there, do the tournament. This is what I fought with. I take it back. I fought with the Witch. I fought with Anthony's at Queen's Gambit, and yeah, just completely abandoned my baby. But
wait, why did you end up fighting with Anthony's sword?
It was longer, and Anthony wasn't fighting, so I was like, dude, please let me use it. There's no grappling, so I wasn't really a whole lot worried about wanting to grab somebody, which is usually what I want to do when I'm fighting with swords for some reason. Close the gap, throw them. Better at that than I am actually fencing, so I was like, maybe if I get the length advantage, I'll do a little better, because this thing was short, right? It's probably the same as Daniel's, like 45 inches. Uh-oh. The flag. Oh no, I let it touch the ground. But yeah, sometimes we name weapons around here. This is my only named weapon, really.
Okay, well, thanks for sharing. That actually gave me another question. Do fencers typically, how trusting are fencers of other people handling their weapons?
It depends on how well you know him. I mean, he definitely was like, don't fuck my sword up, He was like, oh, dude, no, don't fuck my sword up. And,
right.
He gave me tips and tricks on how to fight with it the whole time and all that. I'd say fencers in HEMA, especially when you have newcomers, like, First day that I came out to SEA practice, I broke a sword. You remember that?
Whoa.
The first sword I touched, I broke. 'Cause I was
Oh.
swinging with it.
Wow.
'Cause I was used to swinging with swords, and I didn't know that they poked only.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, in your opinion, who are the best warriors in history? Could be individuals or groups.
Oh. I feel like we all know the answer. It's Fiore de Liberi, obviously. So,
Okay.
yeah, I feel like he's the best.
That's fair.
Genghis Khan was pretty cool. I feel like he's overrated though. I feel like everyone's gonna say Genghis Khan, but everyone's kind of related to him now. So he did a good job. Fiore, Genghis Khan. Dude, I can't even think who else really. I kind of just stick to Fiore a lot of the time. And as far as study, everyone talks about Musashi. I think Musashi's a fucking hypocrite. I read through Musashi one time, and I talked to my mentor about Musashi, and he just fucking contradicts himself. He's like, the way of the fight or some shit. I don't remember what he's saying. He's talking about the path or whatever. And I'm like, he's talking about you're not supposed to be a good fencer aspiring to be a good fencer. You're supposed to do all this other shit. Like, what, dude? You spent your whole life whipping ass, and you're being fucking soft now.
Huh.
Like, I don't know. I read Musashi, and I'm like, this is way too fucking spiritual. This is defeating the purpose of what you did your entire life. You beat a dude up with a fucking oar or whatever, like the boken he had. Why is he upset that people want to be good at sword fighting? I'm sorry, I can go on for fucking ever about that whole book. Fuck the 5 rings.
Okay, gotcha. Let's talk about film and TV portrayals of sword fighting. What has the best and what has the worst?
I actually don't watch movies like that.
Oh, why not? Why not?
Okay, so I'm going to share this. I'm going to get a lot of shit. I've never watched Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I never watched it.
You don't watch even like TV with fantasy
What
themes?
did we watch the other night?
The-
What was the name of the movie, Haley? What was that movie we watched?
Oh, one about the journalists?
Yeah, that's the last movie I watched, and it was about the Washington Post exposing the Vietnam War.
What does it have to do with swords?
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. That's absolutely nothing. That's just saying. I don't want, fuck, what movie? I watched Monty Python not long ago. That was a good one. That was accurate
That's more historically accurate than a lot of modern movies.
Yeah, it was historically accurate to SCA combat too, with the Black Knight. Yeah.
Huh.
But
okay.
I mean, as far as I've seen YouTubes and shit of people, critiquing how awful swordsmanship is, fucking swords going through armor and shit. It kills me.
Okay.
That's probably why I don't watch movies, honestly. I'll probably sit there and talk shit the whole time. I typically do. So
We got to get that on film too, just so you guys know. We're gonna film your reviews of movies with fencing. Okay. Well, thank you. What accomplishments in fencing are you proud of? This is your chance to brag.
Queens give. Queens was cool. Queens was probably the most chill tournament I went to, and the one I got the least cards at. So that one was cool. For that being my first tournament, I placed 12th or something. I don't even I was up there out of 50 people. I was like, yeah, that's sick. Raleigh Open, I just got to throw people a lot. It was fun. And I pissed off the guy that won 3rd at that one. And I'm going to talk about that one, because fuck that guy for trying to fight me after I pretty much busted him on his ass. That was stupid. He had a huge issue. I was very proud of that moment. Fuck that guy. If someone's going to be an asshole and I can be the one to set them straight, that gives me joy.
Gotcha. Well, on the note of tournaments, what has been your overall experience with tournaments? Have you been in quite a lot? Or have you traveled far for some of them? How many?
I think Raleigh's the furthest.
Okay.
It's 3 hours or something. I stayed with Athens School of Arms, which they're down in Georgia, so they had a little longer drive. But that was my second tournament. I don't know if we'll count Greer Ren Fair as a tournament, but it was a little get together it was a demo tournament thing. It was cool. I did all right in that. I like to just show up and fight. I don't really care where.
Okay.
But
Well,
tournaments are fun.
Nice, nice. How do you feel before a tournament?
Oh man, it depends. One time I had the shits at Raleigh. So bad. I had the shits like the whole time at Raleigh. I don't know if that was me being anxious or what, but yeah, typically I'll just sit there and I'll relax before a tournament.
Okay.
And then go. I don't think twice, man. I just kind of throw on the helmet, keep it on until I'm ready, get through my pool, take it off, water, whatever. Next, keep the helmet on, rinse, repeat. I'd say the first match, especially if you're doing multiple tournaments in a day, the first match of the day in the story, that's where your like adrenaline spikes the most.
What do you do to prepare for a tournament? Do you have any like special pump up rituals the day before or something?
Like at Queens, I woke up after like 3 hours of sleep and just said, fuck it. That was kind of it. And one of our club mates gave me a can of oxygen, creatine, and a bunch of other shit, and was like, go out there. And I was like, fuck it, okay. I didn't do that at Raleigh, thank God, but typically I'll just like, just relax until it comes to me. Just send it.
You don't need any particular rituals. Okay.
I mean, I might eat that morning, might not. Typically, I've actually, these motherfuckers are laughing like, he doesn't eat in the morning. Fuck you. He doesn't eat in the morning. I don't have like a ritual. I'm pretty standard.
So how does it feel to win? And how do you celebrate?
It only feels good to win when someone's being a fucking asshole. So the celebration is that you pissed them off. That's kind of it on that one. It feels good to win, obviously, but at this point, it's like I spar with everybody, and it's like I get my ass kicked or I don't. I try not to, but if it happens, it happens.
Well, how does it feel to lose?
About the same.
Okay.
It feels like shit if you lose to an asshole, you know what I mean?
Gotcha. Well, do you get fans?
Honestly, so that's a good question, because a lot of time at Yule Toy, really anywhere, it's like the fencers will kind of become fans if they see you doing something that like other people don't typically do. Like they saw me putting down swords and just grappling with people, or just saying fuck it, I'm gonna throw that guy. And a lot of people liked it. At Yule Toy, a lot of people seemed really interested in what we were doing as a club and for like historical swordsmanship in the community. And with the YouTube now too, you see about as many haters as you do fans, but you know, the subscriber count goes up. I'm not too upset.
Gotcha.
Clout.
Final question I can think of, and it's the most important one. The girls all want to know: is chivalry dead?
Is chivalry dead? I mean, technically, yeah, but if we're talking about the, hey, fuck you, what did you say? There's one more after that?
Oh, there's one more question.
Oh, there's
okay.
one more? Okay, well, is chivalry dead? I feel like so many people have killed the actual definition of chivalry as it began, so yes, it is dead, but the spirit of it is very much still alive in some people. Other people are fucking cunts.
Cut! No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. One more question. A question from your viewers.
Do you suppose that a three-legged fellow could wield a witch's cauldron?
I think Daniel answered this question already. I don't know why I keep having to
The
witness
answer
this.
is yes.
The answer's fucking yes, dude. If he has three legs, if I have a third leg, phrasing. If I have a third leg,
Oh my god.
I have an extra support, so whenever I'm like using my back, right? If this were to bend, I have an extra leg. If I can get a good hold on the cauldron to do like a full squat, I've got a whole extra leg to do the squat. So I feel like, but the wield it's another question, right? Because the wield it, you gotta sling that bitch around. Hopefully that motherfucker's jacked. That's all I gotta say. That's it. I hope he can. I think he could. He should be able to.
Well, let's hope so.
What's that?
All right. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Yes.